Ruth Molin, the famous psychologist from Boston, Massachusetts, who is a lot more fun to be around in the last couple days. So how was it for you? What was going on with you? What happened with you? And what did you learn, or how did you feel? What's up?
Well, as you know, I came here because I had gotten a diagnosis of COPD, and I didn't buy into it. So I had CAT scans, and they told me my lungs were perfect, but I couldn't breathe. And they said, well, it's COPD, and it didn't make sense. So through newsletters, I found your website, and I thought, this is the only person that actually said, you can learn to breathe. So I go back into my life, and I think, oh my goodness, I don't think I ever learned how to breathe. I think always I did little thoracic kind of breaths, plus having asthma as a kid, undiagnosed. And I don't think anybody ever said that there was a way to breathe. You know, I took yoga. Everybody says you can breathe in yoga. Well, you can't. If you don't know how to breathe and you twist yourself in a pretzel, you just breathe more poorly. Right?
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah.
That's why I came here, to learn how to breathe, because I have great optimism that the human body, when trained to operate, can do that.
I think a psychologist better be optimistic. It's bad for
I
business.
have hope.
Good. So, was there any highlights of your experience here?
There were a lot of highlights. I think most of the highlights were the strapping, the different techniques that you used when, I could feel so different afterwards. That, lets me know that as I do this and as I continue to exercise, that I'm going to be able to get stronger, my lungs are stronger. And also that, how much tension I hold. I can say to you, I live a really stressful life, and, I live in a big city and it's really crazy, but it's a choice.
True. It's a choice.
At some level, it's a choice.
Yeah, it's a choice.
And you become unaware of it. When you live in that kind of environment, you just become unaware of how tense you have become.
Yeah.
So I realized that, how tense I hold in my chest.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you've got that. I want you to get that so you can walk out of here with a kinesthetic and proprioceptive sense of what it takes. And there's going to be some things you need to do. You've got some exercises to do. How do you feel about being able to handle the exercises?
I'm going to be able to do them. I have to put it out. I have to make myself a spreadsheet and check off which ones I'm going to do in each day so that I do it. Some of them I already do because I got your video and I read the book, the booklets that you got. And so Squeeze and Breathe, and some of them I have been doing. Some I've been doing improperly, so that I have the skills now to do them more properly. But I'm going to do them because I want to breathe. I want to be able to run again. I would like to be able to have a long life that's healthy, because if it's not healthy, I don't want to live. So I want to have a long, healthy life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I don't have that, I don't want to live.
Well, breathing is definitely square one.
Yeah.
Food is square two, and you've got your food pretty well together. So, you get the two of them together, and if you're feeling good, and if you have people that care about you around you, why would you want to die? So you just keep breathing, and you just keep living and staying happy and being happy.
Well, if you don't breathe, you're anxious, you're depressed. You have all kinds of diagnoses which are real, and you just don't feel well. And if you don't feel well and the life doesn't have any quality to it, then it's not worth living, in my perspective.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating suicide, but I'm saying if there are ways that you can improve your life, and I think breathing is key.
Yeah.
At least in my life, I never learned how to breathe. So, I think that's going to put me in a place where I'm going to be able to heal at deeper levels. It's like peeling the onion, the layers of the onion. Yeah. I also think that, well, everybody should know, if you show this to anybody, I actually went on an elevator like 10 times. Because I have a terrific fear of elevators. I actually went on that elevator every single time. I didn't take the stairs once.
That's a phobia, folks. Another phobia. Flattened. No more.
I actually got so involved in they have mirrored balls, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I got so involved in it, I didn't even know it was moving. Fixing my hair.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, phobias and breathing, they're really interrelated.
Right, because I would probably I'd held my breath just thinking about it, and so of course when you're not breathing, you can't, you're going to be anxious.
Yeah, we could just get the drug industry to get people to learn to breathe first before they give them drugs,
Right, well, that's one thing, is, I mean, I'm not a drug person, I just think that there should be solutions to some of these problems.
Yeah. I was
That are
looking
more
at
organic.
your pre and post session check sheet, and I see there's several things that you started at the beginning of the intensive, and you checked off issues, and you noticed that you didn't check off several of the issues. They pretty well dropped away in the last couple days. Phobia was one of them. Posture, you came in here with posture all over the place. Got to get that into the body. You get the posture into the body, then it has a tendency to go away. Bad posture. Posture comes back. It has to be embodied. You can't tell someone to sit up straight. It doesn't work. So breathing feels like a series of events. That dropped off instead of one continuous coordinated flow.
That disappeared totally. I now realize it's one thing.
Yeah.
It feels one thing. It feels great, like that.
Breathing is shallow. That's gone.
Because I know I have a choice. So that when I feel that when I start breathing more in a shallow way, I can catch it.
Exactly right.
Right, and stop, like you said, and do the squeeze and breathe and refocus myself.
Now you know what to do. There's techniques that you can do when you start to get into trouble.
Yeah.
And having now tasted what chocolate tastes like, i.e. really good breathing, then you have now a place you can come back to. So you could basically nip the distress in the bud.
Right.
Yeah.
Choices.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you here.
It's been fun.
I just look forward to staying connected, and watching your progress and having you eventually begin to integrate this work in with your clients.
That's important. Yeah, that's important. Right.
Okay.
Because a lot of people, present with anxiety, depression, all of the things that I know are not emotionally based. Yeah, people have some trauma, they have some issues, but I mean, for the most part, it's not emotionally based. And then they'll go to the doctor and give them pills, like 20,000 pills. I mean, it's insane. But if they can learn to breathe, if I can integrate this, and I do at some level now, but I'll do it into a far greater professional level, these people can save them some frustration. And side effects on those drugs are just horrible.
Yeah. Well, we want to change that, so that's the goal.
Very good goal.
Get people back to breathing normally and getting them off of medication as much as is reasonable.
When I told people I was coming here, they said, "Well, what's breathing? Everybody knows how to breathe. You just breathe." And I said, "Well, I don't think so. I don't think I know how to breathe.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever learned how to breathe." "Well, yes, you did. When you're a little kid, you were born, you just took your first breath." I don't know. I don't think you learn this because you're such you're part of your environment. You live in a stressful environment. You're with parents that are terrified anyway because they just had a baby, and you assimilate that kind of stress into your life. And some people don't, but I did. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, that's the long and the short of it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's deeper than that. Obviously deeper than that.
It's what?
Obviously deeper than that. But I think for a lot of reasons, people get into these little thoracic breaths to survive.
Yeah. Well, all right. It's been great, and let's stay in touch.
Of course.
Say goodbye to the people.
See you later. Thank you.